Hello and welcome to another episode of the OnlyAccies podcast. Today I am joined by Scott, a lifelong Hamilton fan and Accies legend, a man who spent over 10 years at the club and racked up over 300 appearances. And he is, of course, Allan Ferguson. He is here to talk all about his former teammates, the B&Q Cup finals, the homeless years for Hamilton, and of course his career as a whole. If you like these type of videos, be sure to leave a like rating and listen on YouTube, Spotify and Podbean. And of course you can always leave in the comment section your thoughts and who you want to see us talk to next. So sit back, relax and enjoy this episode. Hello everyone and welcome back to the OnlyAccies podcast. Today I am joined with lifelong Hamilton fan Scott. Scott, how are we?
I'm not bad, Ben. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thank you, Scott. And we're also joined, as you will all know, our special guest is Allan Ferguson. Allan, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. Thanks for the invite.
No worries at all. Allan, don't really think you need any introduction to the Accies fans listening, but just in case they doesn't know, commonly referred to as one of the best goalkeepers Hamilton has ever had. Spent over a decade with the club and over 300 appearances in that time. So quite an amazing record. So we'll just run through it. I think kind of from the start of your career, was it Netherdale Community? Is that right? Where you kind of got your first kind of taste of football?
No, well, I was at a couple of clubs before that. I think I'd been at Fordwood and then I was at Jervison actually. I was at Jervison. That was my first. That's when I first came across Jim Weir actually. So there was like myself, Jim Weir, and we played against like Paul McDonald and things like that as well. I think I can't remember what the team was he was with at the time, but that was that's when I first met Big James, and I think I was maybe about 11 or 12 at that time. So I was there for 2 or 3 years at Jervis, and then I moved on to Netherdale and was a bit more successful there with the team I had there, and then sort of get picked up by Hamilton for there.
And was it always a goalkeeper that you wanted to do? I mean, you commonly hear stories of, you know, someone was a striker, then a midfielder, then a defender, then eventually a goalie. Was a goalie always your kind of goal, I suppose, in the game?
I honestly can't remember how it came about, but I done both, to be honest, when I was younger. And one of my neighbours at the bottom of the street, he always used to say to me that he thought I could have done any one, you know, like professionally kind of thing, you know what I mean, when I was younger. But I done a bit of both. When I was with my friends or the park, I'd play out at times and then other times I'd play in. But I can always remember like jumping about like a maniac, you know. Like, and I think at that time when I think other goalies that I was doing stupid things that other people weren't doing, you know what I mean. So I think the goalie thing was maybe inbred somewhere. My dad was a goalie as well, by the way.
Oh, was he?
So I don't know if I go. Aye. So my dad played kind of junior level. He was for shots and that. So, but I don't know if that's where it came about. He never pushed me any particular, you know. But
did he never shots on record by any chance? Did he?
No, I don't think he did. No. But there's a wee bit of kind of history. I've got old medals for like Ben Har Violet for about the 1800s.
Wow.
Aye. I've got a couple of medals for obviously my great grandfather, and he played with Ben Har Violet. And I mean, see the quality of them. They're like I'm sure one's it's like solid silver, but even you know when you go back to that kind of time and you see the quality there. So I've got them, and I'd got them, and a guy I knew kind of framed some stuff for me, some strips and things like that. And at that time he framed some medals of mine, and they two were kind of in the middle of it all. And they were, I'm sure it was about 1896 or something.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Wow. And you mentioned before you'd obviously went from Netherdale to Accies. Now, how did that move to Hamilton come around?
Well, this I don't know. I think that some people will know this one, a lot of people won't. But I was still at school, but we were me and a mate of mine used to be a wee cafe in New Mains, called the Tip Top. It was called. And still there, but a different name now. But it was a guy called Bob Kennedy, and we used to have a bit of banter about all the young guys. And that we'd go and have a cup of coffee, or a cup of tea, or whatever, a cake, whatever. And John Lambie seemingly used to get him.
Oh, right.
And this, I got to honest with it, I wasn't even seen. I never get picked up through somebody coming and see me play my Netherdale or whatever. I got picked up in the top New Mains, and I was honestly sitting, and Bob Kennedy happened to see him you should get him in and have a look at him. And he did just that, and a week or so later he took us in a couple of training sessions and then I played a couple of youth team games and things like that. Yeah, I wasn't even in the youth team or anything at the time. Obviously, just getting in doing a bit of training, and then he invited myself as an odd guy for a bit this way, George Galloway, a guy I went to school with in the 2s, and then I kind of broke through. He never. And it was funny because again at that time I knew Paul, and we all kind of started running about the same time apprenticeship wise. It was all YTS scheme, and it was myself, Big Jim, and Paul, who'd all I'd played with Jim, you know, at a couple of different clubs. And I knew Paul just for playing against him, and we all kind of joined about the same time, so it was quite. It was sort of quite easy to settle in when you knew a few people, you know.
And it seemed as if, obviously it's a little bit before my time, but kind of reading up on it and talking to fans, you know, like Scott, that kind of group of players, yourself, Jim Weir, Paul McDonald, they all seem so tight knit. So do you think having that history with them and getting on with them so well helped you guys on the pitch as well?
Oh, I definitely think so. Because again, at that time, I think at that time the YTS scheme, and you know, I think players now they all say they're kind of wrapped up in cotton wool, and I think the ground. I think if you talk to any guys from my era, you know, at different clubs, you know, I know Jim Griffin and all the guys, because we all kind of went to college together, like all the guys like Scott Leach and Jim Griffin and all those guys, we all kind of the same kind of age, and obviously locals, and I mean, I used to go to Motherwell to train with the goalies at Motherwell and that, so I got to know some of them. But what I say, all the guys for different clubs in the area went to. There was always a YTS training scheme. You had to go. You know, we done a thing at a JCS training school in Motherwell. Anyway, but we all the guys knew each other and everything, and it definitely was a good grounding, you know.
And it seemed as if, you know, seeing it on Facebook, you still keep in touch with quite a lot of your former teammates. It do seems you do quite like to rib each other, take the piss a wee bit.
I think you're talking about Mr. Cram.
That's kind of who I was coming on to, was Colin Cram himself. The two of you seem to go on really well and take the piss a fair bit. Was that kind of rife in the dressing room as well?
At that time it was. I can remember. I mean, at that time, again, different times through my time at Hamilton, there was like good groups of players. I don't think I've ever played with a bad group of players there. You know, I have been at other places where you think, I don't really enjoy this. I wasn't enjoying it, and there was wee cliques and that, but Hamilton, probably all through the people I had there and played with, it was great. But at that time, like myself and big Chris Alcott and Paul and Jim Frith was there, and it was again Frithy was a guy who came for Rangers, but Motherwell guy, and sort of local, we all knew each other. But the banter was frightening, you know. And then again, you guys like my first day that I joined Hamilton, the first person I met was Wurzel.
Oh really?
And
Wurzel was some man, wasn't he?
Oh, honest to God,
Absolutely.
I'll never forget it, because obviously Lambie was, you know, the way he is, so Lambie was Lambie, and then Wurzel was Wurzel, but you didn't know how to take him because he was such a big guy as well, you know, and he was quite intimidating, you know what I mean? And even with a lack of teeth, and you know, and just the long hair, and you know, he was a great guy, honestly. That was my first day. The first day I arrived, that's who I met, and I'll never forget it.
Oh, he was completely off his head. He ended up coaching us at the supporters team for a year. And he was an absolute lunatic. You loved him to bits, but he was an absolute nutter.
Oh, he was crazy, wasn't he?
And you mentioned...
and it was, wee Tony Stevenson that ended up playing for us. That was his brother-in-law's son, wasn't it?
Aye.
And you mentioned...
His brother was there as well. Sorry, his brother used to hang about the club as well, and he was just every bit as mental.
And you mentioned just kind of how tough John Lambie was there. We've had Paul McDonald on the channel before, and he spoke about just how good John was as a coach in terms of bleeding the youth in, giving, you know, the likes of yourself a chance. What was he like as a coach to work under? We all hear the stories about him, but what was he like as a kind of man, you know, after the games, during training sessions?
Oh, he was brilliant. He's brilliant. You knew what you got, you know, and there probably was a wee bit of fear factor there at that time, you know, because you knew you didn't want to let him down, or, you know, you'd get a bollock, and, you know, either from a personal point of view or for, you know, him obviously giving you a chance, you know, but he was one of a kind, like, you know, but again, what you see was what you seen was what you got, So you knew that, and I think a lot of guys at that time, like coaches wise as well, they probably wouldn't get away with it now. But personally, I don't see, it was a good grounding for all us,
Was Billy McLaren quite a similar manager to John Lambie? They seemed similar on the inside looking in.
Probably a wee bit more thoughtful about it. Billy was, but he was bonkers and all, but in a different kind of way. I mean, Lambie was loud, and he again, the bravado was there, and he was brilliant. He was great with the press, and as you say, letting all the young people through, myself and Paul and Jim Frithie. Even look at all the other guys that come through, like Sandy Fraser's guys for Celtic, Rangers, big Alan Henderson. There was a lot at that time. They were all young, so obviously probably the financial side of things as well. You know what I mean? They couldn't afford to go and get people, so he was looking for talent elsewhere, and he had a good eye for it, obviously. But Billy McLaren, he was a different kettle of fish altogether. He was just, honestly, quiet, nice, big guy, spoke, worked with the tax office. But I tell you what, see when he kicked off, you know what I mean? It was like a flick of a switch, so it was totally different.
Is it a certain game?
There was a big centre half that. Sorry, Ben.
No, when you go, Scott.
I was just going to say there was a big centre half. Did he not get a cup of tea or something thrown at him at half time over at Broomfield?
That was the worst. Paul Martin.
That's it. So it was.
Paul Martin would go for commandment. So we went to Airdrie, Broomfield, and we've come out, and I think at that time Paul Martin was our record signing at the time, $65,000 or something like that. He was a record signing for us at the time, and I can actually remember Jim Frith sort of giving him a hard time, because he was big Paul was like, he was part-time with a good job and all that, so he didn't really, the football was like a hobby to him, so he didn't really treat it too seriously, where it was all our kind of jobs, you know what I mean? So he didn't get down well for that point. If you never let it quite know, he didn't care, so there was a bit of kind of ill feeling at times about him, about his attitude. No, anyway, we came in after, we played Airdrie at Broomfield, and we came in, and I think we went 1-0 down early, and he'd let the ball slip under his foot or something like that, and then I think he made a mistake for the second goal. They were 2-0 down at half time, and it was George Miller. George Miller was the assistant to Bill at the time, and we walked in, and I just happened to be sitting next to him, to Paul Martin, because you obviously by the numbers and that, so he was like the defenders were all together, going by number and that, so I just happened to be, I think I was right next to him, and Billy McLaren, he just started drinking his tea, sitting to be, again, a wee cramped dressing room in Broomfield, and he just took a run for the door and volleyed him, just sunk the boot into him, and the tea went over me and it went over him, and then everybody was in there. I think that's probably the worst kind of scenario I've seen in a dressing room, during a game. And then it kind of kicked off a wee bit,
I would like to mention the two B&Q Cup games, just moving over the finals, obviously in particular. One of them you missed due to an injury. I believe you picked up, was it Partick Thistle? Was it you picked up an injury in that, and it meant you missed when the B&Q Cup finals?
I think I played all the games up to the semi.
Yeah.
Up to the semis, and then I think it was the first time I did a kind of bad knee one.
That was the semi-final where you saved all the penalties against me.
Aye, that's it. Aye, saved 5 penalties.
Well,
that's right. Meadowbank keeper saved the same as well.
He saved the same. I think it ended up 2-1 or something after 14 penalties or something like that.
Aye.
Which is insane when you think about it. It was that game, Furley, we'll talk about that. When you're on the pitch going up for a penalty shootout, what goes through a goalkeeper's head in that moment? Because I suppose, can you practice for a penalty shootout? Is that something that you can train for?
Well, I think at that time, I think guys do it now, and they look at things and they look at videos now, but all that kind of technology wasn't about then. I think I just used to have a thing, that where I think most right-footed players, percentage-wise, probably went a certain way, and left went the other way. So, and again, you watch people run up as they still do as well. But I can always remember that night as if it was yesterday, honestly, because it was just penalty after penalty after penalty, and it was like a horrendous night, and it was old Douglas Park, Caulfield, and it was like pissing the rain and blah blah blah.
When Billy Reid scored the winning penalty after that one, I think the whole shed ended up on the pitch. It was passing down, so it was muddy, so everybody's on their backsides. It was awful.
Because I remember it because I'd made a mistake for that goal because I'd got these new gloves at the time and they'd sent me the wrong size and they were kind of slightly big for me and I was dead uncomfortable with them and I kind of let the ball slip through I think it was for a cross and I got it but I didn't get it, and it dropped and the guy scored, I'm sure. So I was glad that the game went the way it went because I was kind of part. I think it was one each on it at full time and I had a part to play in the goal.
And so did missing on the B&Q final through injury, did winning it then, I believe it was the season after that, did that make it even sweeter, getting the chance to play in the final then?
Aye, did, but to be fair, Billy, I think they kind of kept me part of it, on the day of the final, and they took me along, and because I was still on crutches at the time, went along, and then even along on crutches, enjoyed the celebrations, so it was good to see that. But I think we deserved it at that time as well, because at that time we were doing well, and I know it was against Ayr and that, and I thought we probably could have. It was Big Bomber that scored the goal on it. Yeah. But no, it was good. It was good that they kept me part of it because I'd played a big part to get in there. So it was. But again, we'd end up going on and winning. I ended up going on and winning a bit. I think I won. I still got a medal for that one because the part I played, although I never played in the final. So I've actually got 4 medals because I won another 3.
Oh, well, there you go. Scott, and from a fan's perspective, looking back at the 2 B&Q Cup finals and kind of that season as a whole, what was that like for you guys to sit and watch? People like Alan, Paul, Jim Weir. What was it like for you guys to experience that team?
It was a fantastic time to be an Accies fan. I mean, John Lambie's team were great and they got promoted a couple of times and it was brilliant. But I always think Billy McLaren's team, if you ask a lot of people our age, that's the team they remember most fondly. They were just so attack-minded. There was class players in there. Your Ferguson goals, Jim Weir, Andy Millen, Paul McDonald in the wing, George McCluskey up front, Trevor Smith, Gary Clark. They were class players. And standing under the shed at Douglas Park all that time, there's a lot of friendships that you made for life. And unfortunately, 35 years later, you're still pally with a lot of these people that you met then.
But it was a great time, as you say, there's just a few players you could name, that year, and then your Kenny Wards, these guys, characters as well, players and characters, and but it was a good time to be there, it really was.
And when I was looking back at that team, one of the main things that came up was described as how much of a settled team it was. It seemed as if the 11 never really seemed to change from game to game. Again, do you think that helped your performance in the pitch, knowing that you were playing pretty much with the same 11 every time?
Oh, definitely. I think any team. I mean, I know they do the whole rotation thing these days, but I definitely think if you're going out with the same guys week in, week out, no matter what sport it is, team wise, and obviously you've got to perform and you've got to be consistently performing to keep your position. But if guys are doing that and you're getting results, I don't see any reason to change it, and it definitely obviously helps you.
I take it helped you, Fergie, having a couple of class centre halves in front of you, Jim Weir and Andy Millen.
Oh, I mean, they two were magnificent. Andy was a machine, man. You know what I mean? Andy used to do a 12-minute run in 8 minutes. You know what I mean? It was scary. And Big Weir's, he was the same. When I first went there, I'd played with Jim out of Jervis, and he probably was a wee bit chunky his age for what he'd done and all that. And then he came in, and I don't even know, it was probably a year or two after joining Hamilton, he started doing a bit of boxing training. One of his brothers was a boxer, another one was a runner, so he'd done a bit of that. And one pre-season he come back and he was just like a different guy, and he kind of kept that. I mean, he's still the same now. He's a machine now, and he's after his injuries not as well, and you see him now. I think lately when he had his wee smash last year or whatever, but I said up until then I think he's still been doing like triathlons and things like that, So he's a bit of a machine, but no, guys like that, when you had guys like that in front of you, and then obviously Chris as well, when Chris was fit, Chris Alcott, and then you'd even your Wolfies and Kevin McKees, and just a plethora of great players,
And looking back,
it was a bunch of players that seemed to enjoy a night out as well. I remember going to lots of supporters club functions. And I think the players were hardly ever away from them. You were there all the time.
That's what you just say. You talk about the friendships. I mean, I still I still talk to guys now through Facebook, and I've met some of them out, like your Eddie McKenna, even supporters like Eddie, not Eddie, Daft Eddie McKenna and that. And he's always texting me and having a bit of banter with me. But and I meet him with his work next to my work. He's out doing his roofing business, and I bump into him quite regular. But again, all these people, because the social club was there, and again, it was a social thing, obviously, and we all went in after the game, and you mix with people, and you say, and for years and years, even, your Willie Groundsman was in, and then you had like Biscuit Pricing and all that, and I still keep in touch with his son. He's in Spain all the time, and still keeps in touch with me because he's dad and everything, so it's things like that, you cherish that,
What were the celebrations like after the cup finals, the B&Q Cup finals? What were they like?
They were always probably quite a blur, actually, to be honest with you. But no, they were again, as I say, it was that even the club itself, the social club itself was, that I'd even when I was younger, I can remember like Jim Dempsey and KB and all these big Jerry Collins and that getting in, and we were young guys at the time. And we were going in, and you were seeing them getting, like KB was a man for going up and doing his Mick Jagger impressions, Big Jerry and that. They were all characters, and it was, it's just memories for you, great memories, And see, the first time we went, somebody actually sent me a photograph just a couple of weeks ago, and I put it on Facebook, and folk were jumping in, who's that, and I named them all, and it was actually it was my first season. So it was the first season we went into the Premier League, and I think I'd played about 7 or 8 games. The previous season, and they took, obviously at that time they were kind of a transition into full time to part time, or part time to full time, sorry, and some of the guys stayed part time, and they were trying to get as many full time, obviously because they were not in the Premier, and he took us to Spain, and I think it was myself, Cammy Fraser who was an apprentice, Jim Frith and Big Weirzo, I don't think Paul went, and Jock Wallace was over there, and Lambie had us doing running on the beach with Jock Wallace and guys, and just it was hard. We'd actually just won the league, and we should have been on a break, and he, Jock Wallace, running us on the sand dunes, and then we played a game out there in Spain, and we'd 11 players, and that was it, no subs, and this was scary. We went into Mijas for Fingarola. Jock Wallace had arranged a game, and we were all like, "Are we talking about a game?" We're here on holiday for a break, and so Lambie said, "How would you go?" So we went ahead, and it was like it was just a wee kind of regional team, the Spanish, maybe a second division regional side or something. So we had 11 players. I had no goalie gloves. I had to line a pair of, it was like a kind of one of the all-weather pitches, like used to get down Strathclyde Park. So it was that kind of stuff, but they had sprinklers down, so they would wet it before the game, so it wasn't too dry. And we were 1-0 up at half time, and I had a world, and we were 1-0 up, but with no subs, nothing. So the guys were dead on their feet. We played it about 9 o'clock at night, and it was still about 80-90 degrees. The boys were dead on their feet. So the second half comes, and it started to get a bit needly because we were beating them 1-0. And we came out, and we looked over, and it was like they had I think it was the goalie and the captain. They'd been the reserve side or something. So they changed their full team, apart from 2 players. We were all blowing out our asses, basically, our players were. And we came out, and they were we kind of kept at it, and we were still giving them a game, and it was getting later, it was going, stayed 1-0, and then Big Wurzel, I think it was the captain, he'd have got Big Wurzel a couple of times. So Big Wurzel kind of, something happened, and the two of them had a wee tussle, and Wurzel had a wee slap at him, and then there was maybe about 100 people watching or something. And guys started throwing cans onto the pitch and all that, trying to hit people with, cans of beer and all that. So the game finished 1-0. Jock Wallace says, "Get in, don't get showered, get in the bus, and let's get out of here." And that was it. And I'll never forget that either. It was amazing. What an experience that was.
I'd like to ask about, there was a season in particular that stood out when I was kind of reading up, and it was the season where you were on course to get promoted and then just missed out on it. I believe it was by 2 goal difference.
Aye, well, I don't even know if I think at that time I'd been injured a wee bit during that season and all for a change, and I missed a few games, and the guys were saying if I hadn't missed them, maybe I'd done it. But I can remember the last game, and I know I can remember George Filson talking about it, and something happened in at Firhill, and it was seemingly a Stonewall penalty, and they wouldn't put it in the TV or show him it and that. And we were all sick. I remember we were all sitting in the dressing room after the game, and their game was still going on, and we'd done our bit, and we were obviously looking for a favour elsewhere, which is obviously not a nice thing. And I come on the radio, and the guys like Stonewaller, you heard it on the radio, and everybody's jumping and thinking it's going to be given, and then it never. And I think George Filson went mental after it, because I think some people had went in to watch that game, and I don't know if he even. There was somebody, if the camera wise at the studio, not our place, and they'd showed him on the TV or something, but it was seemingly a Stonewaller. I can't even remember if it was Big Les Bottom or somebody again, actually. It was somebody kind of well known at that time. And again, I think George Filson went into the studio after the game because he'd been invited into Sports Scene or something, or Scott Sport or whatever, and they wouldn't show it.
Oh, really?
They never ever showed it in the TV.
That was well known at the time, Ben. It was an absolute Stonewaller penalty, and they just refused to show it in Sports Scene.
I think what happened,
this is a penalty.
I think what happened is at Firhill, obviously, because it was nearer than they were, nearer obviously going up, and all the fans had jumped over, and they were all next to the hoardings, so they jumped the walls, and they were all like basically around the park. And somebody says that the referee bottled it and felt a bit intimidated by all that, and thought he'd bottled it.
So Scott, what was the feeling within the fan base then at that time? I never knew that part about the story, obviously, but what was it like for you fans then? Hearing that.
We were gutted. I mean, we were standing in the terrace, and after the Accies game had finished, and you're waiting on the final whistle going at Firhill, because we knew that we needed to win 4-0. We'd only won 2-0, but it didn't matter. If Thistle lost, then we were still up. And you were listening to, I think it was Ian Kelly had it on his radio, and everybody was crowded around about listening to it. And the commentator shouted, "That must be a penalty to Forfar," and everybody's heart stopped. And then it's like, "Nah, he's not giving it." And you were just gutted. We went into the stand club later on, and everybody was broken hearted. That was a brilliant team, and it broke up after that because George McCluskey left, and that team never really got his chance in the Premier League that it should have done.
That was a good team, Matt, definitely. We deserved that year, definitely.
And
I mean, you were injured for a long time of it.
I'd missed a chunk of that season as well.
Rab McCulloch was a really good keeper. He made a couple of mistakes that cost us goals. And it's arguable that if the injury hadn't happened, but that's some buts in it.
Keep saying that to me after it, but what do you do?
And Alan, you were part of the Hamilton team that quite famously went homeless for quite a few years, playing the majority of the home games. I believe, was it Albion Rovers that you ended up playing?
I went up at Clifton Hill for a wee spell. Definitely. I be lucky I went over there. We were never there. We went on a Saturday, which was obviously strange. So we kind of trained at all our usual places, and then went over there. And we were the Nomads at the time, and it wasn't the best pitch in the world. Good earlier on the season went on, but we actually done okay over there. It wasn't. Again, you were there just for the game on a Saturday. Not the best facilities, dressing room wise or that, but you just got on it. It was what it was at the time. And
it couldn't have been nice, obviously, not having a home ground. Scott, what was it like for the fans then to suddenly not have a home for their team? They were having to go somewhere else.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you always miss Douglas Park, and you always will do. It will always be home. When we left Douglas Park, at first you thought, is it only going to be for a year or two? And you would never have dreamed it was going to be for 7 years. A few years at Albion Rovers, that was actually not too bad, despite the facilities, because it was a good atmosphere. You're at Albion Rovers, it wasn't too far away. But the years where we took down to Firhill, and you're sitting there with 500 of us in this big, huge stadium, there's nobody there, there's no atmosphere. The team had lost its way by that stage. Firhill was definitely a much harder shift than going to Clifton Hill, definitely.
I would agree with that. I thought I'd actually go as far as even myself personally, because then I can remember when we were at Firhill, although the facilities never were better. But again, I totally agree with that. I think I can remember Ian Munro, he was there at the time, and he started tinkering with things. And even to this day, every time I speak to Gary Clark, Minnie was probably the best coach I've ever worked with. Up there definitely, with the knowledge and and even how he managed people and that. But he wasn't a great manager, as in like team wise. For whatever reason, I think that's how he always done well. and where would be jockey and whatever, wherever he was, and had a wee bit of success, like Dundee and then at Dunfermline or whatever. But I thought he was asking guys to do things that weren't natural to him when we went to Firhill, even myself, and he was saying to me, you should be doing this, doing that. I was listening, and Clarkie's like, don't listen to him, and then we Steph McNulty was left back, he'd been doing it at Newcastle, and Kevin Keegan took him down to Newcastle. He was doing there for a week and flying at the time, and came for Dundee United, young boy, left back, bomb forward, a great engine, probably like your modern day guys are doing now, then he was doing that. And he started saying, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that. And you could just see, and even Clarkie as well, but I can remember personally, I thought that was my worst season ever. I can remember having at Accies, but I was doing things that, because he was asking me to do them, and I'm like, and Clarkie's like, that's not natural to you. You do it kind of instinctively, but you're not, and you're like, well, what do you do? He's wanting me to do it, he's a manager. And I do think we lost our way at that time, because we were still a good team, but I think, and I'm not being detrimental to Ian in any way, but I think we, he just started tinkering with people, and if he just left them be and just said, go and play, but, things would have been better,
And what was it he was asking to do? Was it changing the way the team plays as a whole, or changing the way?
Just individually. Just individuals looking at people and saying, like, I'm looking to do this and do that. Where most players will do things. They know what they're doing when they go in the park, and and then. But with me, he was saying to me, he was talking about my starting positions. Then I remember one of the games he started. He was always. I think he was just always trying to sort of be different as well at times. But I remember one of the games leading up to it, he'd said to me, I've spoke to this guy, I can't remember who it was at the time, and he said, but he's saying, so you see it now, and everybody, a goalkeeper lines his walk, to cover one post, and then he goes the other. So he told me to do the opposite, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, he says, so you leave the guy and just let the guy shoot it at that goal. Say it's a front post. He said, you leave the gap at the front post, but you stand there as well. He said, so in his mind, what he was saying was the ball was travelling further and you can see the ball.
Right.
So rather than it going 25 yards, it's gone 30 kind of thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So because it's travelling further in your lab, but the ball moves quicker than I do, you know what I mean? and honestly, made me try it one night at I think it was at St Mirren. And I tried it once and we lost a goal, and I said, I'm not doing that again. Just silly things like that, where you're going, he's a manager, he's what me to do, what do you do?
Aye. And
I think I actually remember that free kick. I was thinking, what's he doing? What's he standing away over there?
Aye, that was his kind of thought process on this, and he was adamant that it was going to work, and I'm like, and everybody was the same thought, saying, what do you think of it? What are you doing? But he made us do it, and we lost a goal, and I went, yeah, that's binned. I don't know about happening again.
We ended up getting relegated.
Aye, that's right. Yep. And I still think when you look at the team and the players, it wasn't a bad team. I just thought, and again, without being harsh on Ian, I'd put a lot of blame on him for that, because he had guys doing it. I mean, even Gary Clark at that team, I thought Clark had a poor season. He was one of the best players. I had a poor season. Knox had a poor season, and I just picked those two because that's the thing stuck in my head, that he was always at to try and change it. And I'm like, and Clark used to say to me, he wasn't thinking about himself, but he was thinking about me, because that was who Clark was, and he said to me, don't listen to him, just do what you do. But when it's getting drummed into you, it becomes a bit, it becomes habit as well, and you're thinking, well, if I want to play, I need to do what he's telling me,
And Scott, could you see a difference in the team then? Obviously, you talked about obviously getting relegated, so there was clearly a dip in form, but could you see a change in the attitudes of the players, or the way everything was lining up? What were the fans saying in the stands? What was their perception of it?
Most definitely. Ian Munro, I mean, you don't want to criticise the guy too much, but he was getting a real hard time from the fans. We'd come off a spell where John Lambie and Billy McLaren had been really successful managers, and Ian Munro came in, and we just seemed to lose our way. We seemed to lose our spine. We seemed to lose the heart and soul of the team. There wasn't the same vitality about the squad that there was before, and it was the start of a slippery slope that took us a good number of years to get out of. A good 6 or 7 years we really, really struggled after that.
And Alan, I said in the start, he spent over a decade at the club, which, let's be realistic, in modern football is not a common occurrence at all. Was there ever a time during those 10 years where a move to another team maybe tempted you, or a move to a different team maybe seemed like a more like a better option for you?
At that time, it was actually out of our hands because the Bosman thing and that wasn't about. So a couple of things that happened with me, or nearly happened, I didn't have a say in it. So I think the only one that officially ever told me was Jim Dempsey, and he took over one of the times one of the many times that Lambie went back to Partick Thistle. And we'd played Rangers at Ibrox, and I think Chris, which was out with that balance thing at the time, and it was Nicky Walker was playing bad a good game, and we beat us 3-1. And Souness wanted to swap me for Lindsay Hamilton after the game, and but Hamilton wanted money, and again, suit your hands, so you didn't have a say in it. And there was a couple of other things. I think it was a Celtic thing, and there was a couple of wee sniffs for down south and things like that. And Hearts and Dundee United, when Big Jim went to the two, I was nearly involved in they two. Because Jim was going to go to Dundee United at one point before he went to Hearts, and I was kind of involved with that, and then I was involved in another thing. But in the background, I was involved. I didn't know nothing about it, and I was kind of told about it. But at that time, I think the Bosman thing, I did agree with to an extent, because at that time, as a player, your contract was up, they held your registration, they didn't let you go anywhere, and you were kind of held to ransom. And for that point of view, I agreed with what the guy done. It didn't work out, I don't think, because I think it's still even now, suits the guys at the top of the tree rather than the guys lower down, although it does allow you to move. But I think the principal thing was there. What he done was the right thing. So I probably didn't have the option at any time. So you were kind of, sometime you get told about it, and sometime you didn't. But out with that, you never had a say in the matter. You know what I mean? So again, it was left to other people to decide your future for you.
And do you think your knee injury stopped other clubs coming in as well? I mean, that seemed to flare up a few times over the years, didn't
it? I had a couple of wee things after the wee clean-outs things. No, it was never anything major, but I wouldn't surprise me, because I always heard people saying, when that happened to you, if you had your knee injury, but even after me, I mean, I've had some of, in my personal opinion, I've had some of my best sort of performances, and kind of runs a form after that, you know what I mean? So, but again, it's always in people's heads, isn't it? Definitely is.
And so, when your career finished, you retired. I believe you turned to Hamilton as a goalkeeper coach, and I don't know, must have been about 2007-ish. Is that correct?
I still hadn't packed in at that point. Actually, I was still wanting to continue playing at that time. I never. And it was Billy Reid that was there at the time, and an Orkney Mains guy, Big Davy McEwen. So he was going through a bad time, off the field, and at the time, so he asked me to come in and have a word with him and work with him, and I'd done that for a few weeks actually. I then kind of had the chance of my job, and I was away actually. I was doing Coventry at the time, training, and Billy had phoned me, but the night before, Jerry Britton had phoned me to offer me to help him out as well, right. To the end of the season. And I wasn't committing to anything. I said, look, I can play 2 or 3 games for you, to help you as a trialist. And he says, that'd be great. So I'd already promised him that, and then Billy phoned me the next night for the same thing. And I said, listen, I said, leave it with me now. I said, but this week, I think he was wanting me again that weekend. And I said, listen, I've promised him I would do it, and I'm going to, I'm going to go back on my promise, because he's probably counting on me now. And I don't think he took it too kindly, which was a bit surprised me, because I actually seen him after, and a couple of times he blanked me and that, but I knew he kind of took it off with me, and I'm thinking that's quite. I mean, I wouldn't like him to do that to me. If I gave somebody my word, that isn't my word, exactly. It's my word. So I'm not going to let the guy down. And I said that to Billy. I said, listen, he's asked me, blah blah blah. And I think that was because he'd actually said to me, talk about getting me in as a goalie coach and help him out at the time as well. It could have led to something, but for whatever reason he took it off with me, and he didn't like, because I'd chose somebody else over him, and I've not really seen him much since then, but a couple of times I did meet him. He was quite dry in that after it, so I was a bit disappointed, considering how long I played with him in that, at the club, and the good times we'd had,
And was becoming a full-time coach, was that ever something you were interested in? Was that an aspiration after you stopped playing?
Well, I'd got a job with G4S and the cash side of things, and again, if it came along, I've had offers, to be honest with you, and I've never really took them up, just because of my job, really, to be honest with you, and the commitment wise with my job, it's I don't like to commit to something I can't give my all to, so. I ended up getting roped into, running a couple of boys football teams with friends that have done it, so a bit more local and a bit easier access, and enjoyed that, up until about a year ago.
We'll move on to, I've got a few fan questions, so I put out, obviously, you were part of a poll and you were voted the favourite person that you'd like to hear on the podcast from Hamilton fans. So plenty have submitted some questions that I'll put to you at the moment. Gary is asking, do you have a favourite moment in an Accies shirt?
Favourite moment? Probably, well, I think my favourite moment was, to me, that always kind of springs to my head, was probably getting up to the Premier League first and foremost, playing your part. I always remember the first game I played was against Meadowbank in the Scottish Cup.
Mm-hmm.
David McKellar talking to me about it. My probably the thing that sticks in my head was the first game we ever played in the Premier League, when Graham Souness had just taken over as well, and walking out the tunnel at Douglas Park, and obviously a full house at Douglas Park as well at that time, which was a great atmosphere, wee tight park, and looking at like Chris Woods and Gary Stevens and Graham Souness and all these guys, Terry Butcher, and the size of them, you're looking at the size of them, you're going, oh my God. that's probably my, the thing that always sticks out in my head,
Stands out. And Scott, I never got to experience it obviously myself, but what was a packed Douglas Park like? What was the atmosphere like for you guys?
Oh, you were jam-packed in there. It was like the sort of things, if you filled Douglas Park, it was a 10,500 capacity. You were squeezed in there. If you wanted to scratch your nose, you couldn't. The best ones were the games against Motherwell, because it was proper segregation. But when you were playing Celtic and Rangers, it wasn't great, because the club, even back then, sold tickets to anybody. So you ended up with Celtic and Rangers fans all over the home end. But I remember that game against Rangers, Fergie. I was right behind the goals. And their first goal, just before half-time, it was Gary Stevens shot.
Two deflections,
and then just took this mad deflection in at the bottom corner.
A couple of deflections. I actually two players in the way, and we were doing well at the time. We actually done well the game, to be fair, because again, we'd probably stuck well with the guys, didn't he? I think Lambie wanted to give all the guys that sort of, which was fair play. They stuck with the guys to give them a chance, and then obviously realised it wasn't going to work,
That's right. We beat Celtic at Douglas Park later that season, didn't we?
That's right, Stuart Gordon.
Stuart Gordon,
That's right.
That was one where Anton Rogan was playing fullback, and Paul McDonald was running at him. And Mitchie, his dog, ran on the park, distracted Anton Rogan. Paul McDonald skipped by him, put the ball out, and Stuart Gordon scored.
I remember that. I just remember Paul gave him a torrid time. I thought that's what you were going to say there.
That's right, he did.
Gordon would like to ask, who was the best player you played alongside in an Accies shirt?
Oh, I do have that many, different types for different reasons, but I'd probably go with like the man that he mentioned earlier at left, like probably George McCluskey. Again, George, he was a great guy. We were young guys as well. And I mean, there's been loads, Jerry McCabe's, and I'll still speak to Jerry this day. He was great. Had a big effect in my career, like all through my, he's been a young guy and then coming back as a coach as well at times, and always been about the place. I just think Toby, when you seen him, with the ability he had, and obviously you could see where it came from. But I remember a game that we played. I think we played Luton, and I wasn't playing actually. It was Big Faldo, Ian McFarlane was playing, and again it was David Plate, I think it was, in Fashion and that were there, and we played them, and I can't remember I don't know if it was Clayton Blackmore or somebody, and Toby got the ball on the halfway line, and again, these guys were huge, by the way. I mean, you talk about the size of me. I was watching the game and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm glad I'm not playing here. The guys were enormous, right? And Toby got the ball maybe about 10 yards into their half, and a guy came in and he nutmegged him. And he took him through and he ran 10 yards, and then the centre half came and he nutmegged him. And then I think he was about edge of the box. He was about 18, 19 yards, and the goalie was at Hans Seegers at the time. And he came, short angle down 6 yards. Toby dinked him, chipped him, and the place erupted. And I actually heard David Plater, somebody said after the game, he says that he's never seen, at that point, he said that's one of the best goals I've ever seen, and it was frightening,
They were a Premier League team at the time, weren't they?
Aye, that's right, aye.
We mentioned kind of taking the piss out of Colin Cram earlier on. Stephen has asked, was Colin Cram the ugliest player you played alongside?
Oh, I definitely. 100% the ugliest and the thickest as well.
I'll be sure to say.
Honestly, me and Crammy, we have some banter on Facebook, and he's down in Bristol now, and the guy, it gets to the point where it's going on, and I know what's happening. He knows what's happening. And other people that don't know me, that know him, they'll text him and say, "What is it with you and him? I think we've got a real problem right now." They'll phone me at work the next day. And he'll say, "By the way, see that last night, I had people phoning me," and it's still happening now. You know what I mean? There's a wee lull, and then he comes back in, and then he's on, and he's noising people up, and then he'll say, like dive in this. I'm noising such and such up, and then dive in. But it's funny because he again grew up with me. He grew up with me along the street.
Right.
And I say to people, when you see Crammy, what a finisher he was, headless chicken, right? But he worked his ass. His work rate was brilliant. He's like modern day guys that just don't give people a minute's peace. And effective as it is, because they don't like it, and as a striker, for having a guy like him in your team was brilliant, and I tell you what, he could finish. But as a young guy, calipers and everything, we used to, I still laugh about this day, because I noise him up on Facebook about it, but people down there probably don't know. When he was a young guy, calipers, and you'd see him running around the park, and we stopped playing football with these calipers on, and he was rapid, even with them on, you know what I mean? And you're like, honest to God.
John asked, what was it like taking over from another Accies legend, Ricky Ferguson, in goal, and what influence did he have on you?
To be honest, I never really spent a lot of time with Ricky, because I think he was away not long after I came, but I'd probably been near the season before, probably maybe a full season kind of thing. But no, Ricky was a great guy, and again, it was a big pair of gloves to fill, and it was always in the back of your mind. But I think, and again, he was always great with not just myself, other goalkeepers that were about the place. At that time, they were part-time at that time, and we first went in, so you didn't see a lot of them. And then when I got in for about 7 or 8 games, then they brought him back, and obviously I don't know if Lambie at that point decided that he was going to go with me and somebody else or whatever, or they'd already decided Ricky was going. But no, it was a big loss for Accies fans. He was a legend, and a great guy and a great goalkeeper.
Did people at the club kind of make you aware of how big a glove you were filling, or was that kind of atmosphere already there, like when you joined?
I think that was already there. I think everybody knew how long he'd been there, and what could have obviously been a great goalkeeper and a great servant to the place. So it was definitely a sort of an honour to take over him after as well. It was an honour as well to fill his gloves, And
still the only player who's played more for Accies than yourself. So you're up there with good company, I would say.
I didn't even know I was up there, and I mean, till that long ago. And Scott said to me, I think he said that I don't know what number it was. I didn't think I was saying.
You and Ricky Ferguson, two great goalkeepers. Ryan said, looking back at your time at Hamilton, is there anything you would have done differently? Is there anything you would have changed?
No, I don't think so. I had a great time there. I think if things had been different, and nothing to do with Hamilton, probably in that climate, everything was different. And I think even go back to a couple of my injuries, I think at that time there wasn't a lot of emphasis really put on the medical side of things, because everything was geared around just trying to get a team on the park and everything. The medical side wasn't great, and probably things like that didn't help me either at that time.
Yeah.
But without being critical, because that's the way it was, not just at Hamilton, everywhere. at that time. But I definitely don't. No, I've definitely no regrets. I think the only thing is if things had been different, and you know, the financial side as well, you know, I'd probably still have been there. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll end this with this question a fan has asked. First of all, what are you doing at work at the moment? He would like to know what's happened after you finished with football, and he would also like to ask if Accies approached you today and asked to join as a goalkeeping coach, would you take that up?
Oh, I'd certainly be open to offers for that point of view. You know, I say I've had offers, you know, for junior clubs and for a couple of senior clubs for guys, you know, that have took over jobs, but just it's got to be sort of viable, you know, through work and obviously travelling and things like that. And it's got to, again, you've got to be able to commit to it, you know. So it's a couple that have been kind of further afield. But no, I'd certainly would rule anything out if the offer and the right offer came along. And as I say, I get involved with. I'm now up my G4S for that first question in the cash solution side of things. So I've been there for about 13 years now, driving the HCVs and things like that. So that's my day-to-day work at the moment. But again, I did get involved with some boys club football, which I enjoyed for a couple of years there and was quite successful with that. So that was good. It was good experience doing that with my boys team, and my mate he'd run a team and with his boy, and we sort of get involved with a local team, and we kind of were very good and won the league and everything last year. But then, as again, you're getting to that age, they moved on and they split up. So that was kind of disappointing.
Is your son? Is he still in about the football? Has he got aspirations to be a footballer?
No, but he was still playing, and then when that happened, I think it hit him quite hard as well, just confidence wise. So he kind of took a wee step back there now, but he'll go back in there. You know,
well, good.
He'll get back in there after all this.
Hopefully, we'll see him in an Accies shirt one day. That'd be great, wouldn't it? Hand over. Is he a goalkeeper as well? Has he followed the?
No. He's a centre half actually. Centre half.
Well, there you go. Maybe we'll see him lining up in the back four. Well, listen, Allan, thank you very much for joining on the OnlyAccies podcast. It's been a pleasure having you on. Scott, thank you very much for joining us as well. It's been good to have the opinion of a fan like yourself.
You're welcome, Ben. Thank you for having me.
Nice to speak to you again, Scott.
No, great. Fergie, listen, I just want to say thanks for everything you did for Accies over those years. You were a great goalkeeper and so many wonderful memories. So thanks very much.
Thanks a lot, mate. Great times it was.
There you have it, an interview with Hamilton legend Allan Ferguson. Next up on the podcast, we will be joined by Hamilton hardman Simon Mensing. Following that, we also have Ziggy Gordon coming on the podcast. If you guys liked this interview and want to see more, be sure to hit a like rating down below. If you're over on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify, follow the channel so you get notifications every time we post. And if you're listening in Podbean, you can do the same there as well. Share this with your friends, share this with your family. Get everybody out listening to the OnlyAccies podcast.